I'm not your gossip girl, I'm the headline. Truth with a curve, baby, redefine. Welcome to the thirst trap. All the truth looks good in a tight wrap. We talk love, power, soul, and sin. Turn the world on, let the light in. Yeah, the thirst trap news. You'll drink it up, it's the real you. Libertarian thirst promos, where every headline's a revelation.
Welcome back to Thirst Trap News. It's your girl Luna Lopez. I got a great show planned for you tonight. But I have something to say. Sovereignty is not xenophobia. Let's get something straight, and I mean crystal clear. This is not about hating people from other countries, what I'm about to say. This isn't about fear. It's not about isolation. This is about sovereignty, and sovereignty is not optional if a nation wants to survive. No other country on earth allows foreign interests to openly meddle in its politics and call it progress. No serious nation hands the steering wheel to people who with divided loyalties and calls it diversity. And no free people should tolerate their hard-earned money being misused by institutions that no longer answer to them. That's not patriotism, that's negligence. In the old world, borders weren't just lines on a map. They were agreements of responsibility. If you governed a people, your loyalty belonged entirely to them, not to foreign governments, not to international organizations, not to global financial interests whispering in your ear. You served one house, and somewhere along the way, America forgot that. Now we're told that questioning foreign influence is mean, that asking where the money goes is dangerous, and demanding loyalty is extreme. No, my loves, what's extreme is watching our tax dollars disappear into endless mismanagement while Americans struggle to survive. What's extreme is pretending that global interests don't conflict with national ones. What's extreme is acting like accountability is somehow un-American. What's extreme is not being able to find children in daycares in Minnesota, where millions of dollars are being funneled. Here's the truth that they don't want said out loud. A government that can't account for its spending has already lost its moral authority. And the people have every right and obligation, might I add, to demand reform. That means audits, that means transparency, that means cutting funding from agencies that cannot justify their budgets or prove they serve the American people first. It means removing people who are sitting in office, sending American dollars to their countries. This is not rebellion. This is constitutional responsibility. And yes, let's talk about money, because money is power, and power follows whoever controls the system. America has flirted with the idea of financial independence before. State banks, local credit systems, community-based lending models that keep wealth circulating among citizens instead of funneling it upward into opaque institutions. That's not radical. That's smart. Demanding lawful financial reform, domestic investment, and banking structures that serve the people instead of funding corruption isn't dangerous. It's necessary. And you don't fix a broken system by pretending it isn't broken. And let me say this gently but firmly. No one is entitled to govern a nation they are not fully committed to. Public office is not a networking opportunity. It's a sacred trust. America belongs to Americans, not as an ethnicity, not as a bloodline, but as civic responsibility. And patriotism isn't blind obedience. Patriotism is saying, do better. Show us the books. Earn our trust, serve the people, or step aside. That's not anger. That's maturity. This country doesn't need more slogans. It needs backbone. So light your lantern, ask the questions, demand reform through lawful means, and remember, sovereignty is not hate. Sovereignty is self-respect, and America deserves to respect itself again. So grab your blanket, grab your nightcap, grab your sweetie and a comfy pajamas, put me up on the TV, cuddle up, and let's have a wonderful chat tonight. Please don't hold back the commentary. The shows are always so much better the more you guys talk. And don't forget, based on the vibes, whoever brings it the most wins Fan of the Day. And every Monday, the winners of Fan of the Day get my show notes autographed by me and signed with a kiss, shipped out to you. And at the end, I will announce who it is, and you just have to message producer Ryan, and we will ship that out to you on Monday. So, hi, Arch Enemy 72. Good to see you. And Alexander, hey, it's been a second. How is it over in Southern California, Arch Enemy? And Alexander says, Democrats say nothing to see here while the building is on fire. Exactly. All right, let me look over here. Butcher, hi. You like what you're hearing? Ooh, well, I'm glad. And welcome to my show, Butcher01. And let's see who else is here. Mike is here. Mike Escalda. Matrix Buster's here. Mario's here. Mike Escard I can't say your name. How do you say that? Escudero. Esquerdo. This is part of the exposure phrase. You can't tell the people. You have to show them. Buckle up. Something about to set off the party train. Yeehaw. Thank you about my hair, Mike. Dave says, good evening. Hi, Dave. Hi, Rich. Anthony, welcome. AJ, hi, honey. And, oh my gosh, D Fitness. Woo. I will, D, make sure you message me and I will let you know which lipstick this is tonight and what color it is. And hey, the Quiet Part Pod. Good to see you. We had some fun a few weeks ago. Maybe we should, I can't wait to raid someone at the end of my show and have a party and another podcast. That's what Rumble is so fun. We get to send all our viewers over to another show. And the last couple ones I rated, they let me come on, and it was random. I had no idea the crowd I would be hanging out with, but we jived, you know, because you can't take the hairdresser out of the girl, man. Like, we get along with everybody. We just know how to get along with everybody. Arch Enemy says, ask questions, demand answers. Absolutely. And the Quiet Pod says, like, comment, repost, and follow. Thank you, Quiet Pod. Just keep hanging with me. I like that kind of energy. All right. And Shoe Fetish is here. Greenhead. God, we got a full house. All right. So this is what is on the menu for you guys tonight. Are you ready? Coming up, we have Ilhan Omar is a dumb bitch who sounds like a Star Wars character whilst talking shit on U.S. Congress. Hey, Walls, your corruption is showing. Europe is shittier than I realized. Some things are naturally hardwired. Only Erica Kirk could ruin fireworks. Spirituality ain't for everyone. Most misunderstood thing about addiction. Leave Christopher Columbus alone. Anthony Joshua's car crash. Was Judas a hero? Or the hero? Top 3 worst singers. Don't fall asleep. Trump is such a Jew. And best response to being called a racist. And then I will announce fan of the day. Okay, so question. Since you brought up my lipstick color, lately I've been into this new little thing where I like to draw over my Cupid's bow and make my top lip round. And today I just followed my natural lip line, and I don't know how I like it. Every time I do my natural lip line, my mouth looks crooked, but I can't decide which one looks better. So maybe you can let me know. The full round top lip pout where I do this with my makeup. This is how I've been wearing it the last couple weeks, which I think looks better. I'll have to subject y'all to me being a little girly sometimes. You know what I mean? Because why do we only have to talk about politics. And I got new earrings. They're little suns. Because when my cousin died, he told me through a medium that I look like the sun on the other side. So I've been buying sun stuff. D says looks perfect as is. Well, thanks. Mike said people need to realize central casting at its finest. Amen, brother. Oh my God. We've been noticing it all over the place lately, haven't we? Central casting's been freaking everywhere. And y'all, I think I typed something wrong in my monologue. What did I say? I said no other country allows and no serious nation hands the steering wheel to people who divided loyalties and call it diversity. No serious nation hands the steering wheel to people with divided loyalties and calls it diversity. And no free people should tolerate their hard-earned money being misused by institutions. Oh, I did type that right. I got scared for a second and I thought I had said that serious nations hand the steering wheel to people with divided loyalties. Hi, Jack. Jack was one of my fan of the day winners. And I think Mike, too. I like the new profile picture, Mike. All right. Are you guys ready? I'm so ready to get the party started. Prost, skull, cheers, para los perritos, mi vino, down the hatch. Oh. Ooh, that did not go in the fridge, did it? Ugh, it wasn't sealed very well. That tastes like vinegar. Craig says, hello from the free state of Florida. Don't you love Florida? I'm a Florida girl, too. We here in Florida with you, buddy. All right. And cheers. Back at you, Harvey. All right. And yes, it is one big family over on Rumble. Y'all have got to watch on Rumble. It is so much more fun of an experience. So, you know, this is what it is. All right. First video. I hope you guys had a great Christmas. I have such good news coming for you guys. I cannot say anything yet, but the paperwork hasn't been sent, but the dates are being discussed. So your girl's going to be guests on other shows, big shows. So, you know, this mission that I, have to help people understand dark psychology and break free from the slavery around the world, including here in America, and to love your country, America, that you're from, to be proud of it. And if you moved here legally, to be proud of it and don't make it a little version, your town, a little version of the country you left. Yeah, people are liking my message, I guess because I'm not white. But I support my white brethren, and I am very much against white guilt. I think you should have white pride, just like there's black pride, Indian pride, Native American pride, brown pride, yellow pride, red pride, white pride, black pride. We're just human race pride. And it's really fucking sad that I've just sat and kind of realized over this last week, white people are not allowed to have culture here in the West. And that's not okay. They're allowed to have culture too. And y'all white folks, and people think I'm not white because, my phenotype has yellow skin. But I'm like almost 70% white. So this is like personal for me too. I'm 70% white and the rest is Blasian, if you will. Black and Asian. But I'll say this. You are allowed to have culture, and you guys need to start thinking about what your culture is, your traditions and culture, and be proud of it. Screw it. They're going to call you a racist anyway. Be proud of who you are and show your kindness. Honestly, white folks are the kindest people that I ever meet. They're the kindest people to be around, and I love to be around them. So I think you guys should be much more upfront about it. Everyone thinks I'm Latina, but I'm not a drop Latina. My mother is from Trinidad, so she is African descent and South Indian descent from India. Her grandfather was Sikh, and her father is half Indian, half Nigerian by way of Trinidad, and her mother is half West African, half Nigerian by way of Trinidad. And then my dad is Scottish and Scandinavian by way of Finland and Iceland and Scotland. Thank you for the rumble, Ryan. For the rant, Ryan. I appreciate you. You're always there. Maybe my other listeners will start to step it up. B was the winner of the last show because B sent in a very generous donation. So B got an extra special show notes. He got my monologue. He got my show notes. He got special stuff. So yeah. All right. First video. Ilhan Omar is a dumb bitch who sounds like a Star Wars character whilst talking shit on the U.S. Congress. So fuck you, Ilhan Omar, you cunt. Okay, so I'm going to have to read this first because it's in her language, but as she's talking, I'll translate. So this is Ilhan Omar. The U.S. government will only do what Somalians in the U.S. tell them to do because that they will do what we want and nothing else. They must follow our orders. So what she's saying is the government will only do what Somalians in the U.S. tell them to do, meaning I came here to be a citizen and be in Congress because if the U.S. won't listen to it, it won't take care of Somalia if there's no Somalians here as citizens. So I'm holding down the line. They are obligated to take care of Somalia because I am here and I am a U.S. representative. I love you too, Thomas. Yes, I do say the truth. I have a very, very... filters don't exist in my world and I try really hard. All right, so she says, my answer to Somalians was that the U.S. government will only do what Somalians in the U.S. tell them to do. They will do what we want and nothing else. They will follow our orders. And we must have confidence in ourselves that we call for the shots in the U.S. We live in the U.S., pay taxes in the U.S., and have a real voice. The U.S. is a country where one of your daughters, she says herself, is in Congress to represent your interests. Yuck. She directly said it. She's there to represent Somalian interests. So Donald fucking Trump, get her the fuck out of there. Her and Tim Walz. Voters in Minnesota, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? Get out to your voting booths and put a vote in. Don't let the fucking illegal Somalians put in their illegal votes to keep this dumb bitch in place. She's a fucking criminal. This is against the Constitution. And the fact that this has gone on now, how long has she been in? 10 years? Something like that? This is fucking crazy. She directly said it. Her interests are not American. They're Somalian. And everyone needs to be involved in their local elections because it trickles up. So whoever gets local office moves to the next big seat, moves to the next big seat, moves to the next big seat. Pay attention to your motherfucking local offices. Put yourselves in, your friends, your people, us. I think that I don't think anybody should be allowed to be in office in America if they were not born here, period. I don't even care if they're legal or naturalized or whatever you want to fucking call it. Don't care. Yes, the quiet part. I'm just American. I really prefer to just say I'm American, honestly, because that's the truth. I'm 5th generation American, and that is the truth. Is that I'm just American. I think most Americans at this point are basically Heinz 57, and we're all just eventually just going to be a shade of brown from mixing up. She says, as long as I'm in Congress, Somalia will never be in danger. Its waters will not be stolen by Ethiopia or others. Not our problem. you dumb bitch. That's your problem. Go back to your country and deal with it.
waddanka Soomaaliya biyaheeda dad kaleeta iyo badeeda dad kale ma qaadanayaan waddanka Mareykankana kuma taageerayo dad kaleeta in annaga ayna dhacaan
comfort knowing I am here to protect the interests of Somalia from inside the US system. This is jail, prison. I don't even want her in our prisons. I don't want to pay a single tax dollar for her.
marka taas ka seexda waabteeda waxay ahayd dawladda Mareykanka
The sandpaper dildo. The quiet pod said, can we just send her the sandpaper dildo?
waxay ka qabanaysaa wixii annaga aan dhahno dawladda
what's up,
Mareykanka
Data?
qabo waa kalsoonidaas inaan isku qabno annaga Soomaali haddii aan nahay waddankan annaga ku nool waddankan
No. So, Minnesota, you guys need to get on the motherfucking ball and kick this bitch out because, you know, the Hill never, ever delivers consequences to people. Ever. It's going to be us that does it. And I don't care what happens to her because she's a criminal. So, you know, she's a traitoress. She swore an oath and a vow when she became a citizen, and she has committed treason as far as I'm concerned, and she needs to be dealt with. That's just the truth. Backwater's here. LaFleur's here. Marion's here. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Okay. So, next video, keeping on theme with Minnesota. Mr. Walls, your corruption is showing.
I know that people will be hurt by that vote, and we worked very hard to try to get a budget deal that wouldn't include that provision.
So this is really sad. This is the Democrat that got assassinated this summer that no one wants to talk about. Why was she assassinated? Because she was the only Democrat in Minnesota, God rest her soul, to do the right thing and vote against healthcare for illegal aliens, and she was assassinated. And listen to her voice. Look, if you have an ounce of humanity in you for people who do the right thing, listen to her voice. Listen to the quivering. She knew something bad was going to happen.
I know that people will be hurt by that vote, and we worked very hard to try to get a budget deal
Tragic.
that wouldn't include that provision. I know that people will be hurt
This is
by that
why
vote.
You see me every night with a pitchfork and what do you call that thing? The flame on the stick. What's that? No, what's that thing called with the flame on the stick? Torch. Pitchfork and torch. Thank you, Thomas. I'm sure she got threatened behind the scenes by the Minnesota Assembly. I'm sure she got threatened behind the scenes by Walls. You know, this is sad. This is really sad. This is why we have to fight. We have to, you know, what was her name? Go back to that video because I need to hashtag her name. Melissa, I want to say Horton. Yeah, Hortman. She needs her name hashtagged. We need Minnesota hashtagged. We need Trump hashtag. You know, it's getting violent out there. It's getting violent in politics. When you open a border and you let third world criminals and psychiatric patients in, it's gonna get violent. They don't have the same regard for human life as Americans do because they experience death all around them in third and second world countries. Death is not as shocking to them, and women are not don't have as many rights. So women are very much commoditized So yeah, violence is becoming more normal. All right. I'm so disappointed in Europe because I always wanted to go there, and it's just seeming to be that I will not be going there anytime soon. Europe is shittier than I realized.
Norway. Ireland. France. London. Germany. Somebody explained to me how the progressive governments of Europe, who claim to champion women's rights, are okay with importing millions of migrants from third world countries who come from cultures that are okay with sexually assaulting, raping, murdering, beating, anything unimaginable.
Poor little girl that
You
got
actually
thrown
don't
out
need to
of
explain it to me
concrete
because
too.
I understand the phenomenon. The reality is that they're hypocrites who don't actually care about women. They only
And they disarmed Europe. You can't have guns.
care about them when it comes to murdering their unborn children in the womb and putting white men in jail for rape allegations from 50 years ago. This is the same type of hypocrisy we see from American politicians who claim to champion women's rights but are okay with men entering their sports and destroying them or their restrooms and making them feel unsafe. I'm an American, so admittedly my knowledge of European politics is pretty limited. But if you're a European watching this, there's one thing I can tell you for sure. It is very
Reality Pocket. You about to get a smackdown. What do you mean more so does the host?
obvious your politicians care more about Muhammad than they care about your sister, they care about your mother, they care about your daughter, and they care about you. Norway.
This is why men, you guys need to remember your men. We have women and children to protect. The Quiet Pod. Thanks, the Quiet Part Pod. I don't know what Reality Pocket meant by that. Stream seems more stable tonight. So does the host. I was perfectly fine last night. Other than the fact that Rumble was pissing me the hell off really bad. And just pretty much nothing would go right yesterday. Reality Pocket knows sometimes you get Luna on a rant. It's like this. Everybody's hiding. Especially if you get me on a good one where I'm going off on somebody. Or we get a troll in here. That's always fun. Getting the trolls. The stream was really bad yesterday. Rumble's been having a hard time. I'm like, seriously, Rumble, you guys got to get it together. Nick Fuentes flipped the hell out on Rumble because his stream took a shit in the middle of his, and he's got like 1 million freaking watchers or something like that. Sills said, "Hail Luna from the Thanos, Jerry, aka the Sith Lord poet." Hey, look at what I put up there behind me. I dug it out of my toy room. I got Darth Vader over there, you know. And then you can see Luke Skywalker underneath him, like fighting. They're fighting. Their silhouettes are fighting. But yes. Mike said, "Yep, don't get her on a rant and piss her off. You will regret it." Oh man. I know. I'd have to be careful in Europe. I think I can't even go to Europe because they would get on my social media the second I land and then arrest me. Golly. Fuck these socialist places. Everywhere's going socialist. That's what the whole world wants. They want you to turn the whole world wants to turn socialist. Every government wants you in a one world globalist government, and that is communistic, Marxist, whatever you want to call it. Common Core. That was a nice word for Marxism. But I just want to say that some things are naturally hardwired.
Isn't it funny how some things are literally hardwired into us from birth?
Oh, look. Oh, such a gentleman. See, and this is so true.
You show me just how much you care. You've given me the thrill of a lifetime and made me
Males naturally want to help females. This is very much true. And you can thank these freaking sycophant pervs who want to confuse everyone. And you can thank them for confusing something so beautiful and natural. Data! Thank you for the rant. He says, for justice, be strong and make it bend towards justice fast. I'm working on it, homie. And I would make you a fan of the show tonight, but I know I got your email. But so I know you know I appreciate it. Your privacy is respected. All right.
Of survival. Men protecting women didn't come from the patriarchy textbooks.
No.
It came from reality.
Right. Your
from
DNA.
Danger.
She seems like she is zannied up.
From sacrifice. Feminists want to say that protection and letting men lead is oppression or control, or that
I love her crooked teeth. Just oh my gosh, I do like crooked teeth. It's kind of one of those weird things about me.
Masculinity is toxic. Allowing a man to lead does not mean domination.
Right.
And
exactly.
Submission doesn't mean inferiority.
Because men are the natural problem solvers. Women are the nurturers. So the leading is because of the problem solving ability. They have, when a man truly loves a woman, he has no desire to domineer her or like not solve problems in ways that are going to make her ecstatic. Like, that's not what taking the lead doesn't mean, oh, you're just his servant and it's his way or the highway. That's what evangelicals believe and Muslims believe and Jews believe. No, Christianity teaches that that the head of the man is Christ and that the head of the woman is the man. But one thing my father always said is that the woman is the neck that supports the head, but the neck is also responsible for turning the head. So you point him, he solves the problems, but he's going to take the lead in that. He's going to want to make sure his woman's life is comfortable. He's going to solve problems in the ways that make her smile. He's going to do everything to make his woman happy and comfortable so she can take care of his babies and show them love and affection because she's nice and stable and comfortable. The quiet part pod says men are literally hardwired to take the abuse from you ladies. Amen. Cha-ching. The quiet part pod. I'm digging what you just said there. Look, we don't mean to be abusive. We just really fucking care, man. No, if you have an emotionally unregulated wife, you really need to take a long look in the mirror and ask yourself how you can better serve her. Because if she is emotionally unregulated, it's because of your lack of leadership. I promise you. And lack of affection and lack of softness. Like, we want you to be capable of violence, ready to fight a bear on our behalf, but you have to be soft with us. And remember the things she talks about. If she's talking about something you're totally not interested in, sucks for you, disengage from what you're doing and just totally listen to her. I promise you, a woman feeling listened to is going to reduce the abuse. I swear to you. But yes, women have a certain way of making men feel like they're being abused. And I don't know how it happens, but it just does. What's up, Mayhem? Hormones. What do you mean by hormones? Okay. Only Erica Kirk could ruin fireworks. Am I right?
Kirk, thanks for joining me. Erica, why do you keep coming out to these events with fireworks like you're a WWE superstar?
Because it's too simple.
So you're not going to stop using fireworks?
No, I'm not. That's what I want to do.
What do you want to say to the people online that keep putting Charlie's face on everything?
Stop.
Whoever did this is naughty, but it's hilarious. I love it.
That's it. That's all I have to say. Stop.
It's getting
Eyes are
ridiculous.
crazy.
And what's your message to fans that say you should be at home mourning with your kids instead of doing all of this?
Nothing.
Okay, but why aren't you at home right now?
I have nothing to say to you.
Erica, why are you staring at me like that? Why are you doing that with your eyes? Okay, I think we'll just leave it there. Let's just wrap it up. Erica Kirk, thanks for joining me. Erica.
Oh man, this was gold. This was good. All right, John Bernard K. Hold on, I gotta write his name down. John. Look, this pen, whoever gets these show notes, this is not what my handwriting looks like. This pen sucks. These pens are friggin' terrible. These big pens, I hate these. And these are the pens you see everywhere. They write all stiff. John Bernard K. He's fucking funny. Okay. You know, you gotta have, she's so infuriating. You just have to have you gotta find room to laugh sometimes at human nature, man. People are freaking, and her acting is so bad. And I love that somebody took all those moments of like obvious acting, because she just made it so easy to have pure gold, like perfectly timed clips and faces for, she's not going to get away with this. This is going to happen. This is going to happen to her a lot, I think. No, Frankie, the old school Bics are the worst. They're the worst. I like the Inkjet or the Papermate, or I like real smooth, flowy, liquidy ink, you know? Yeah, the original Bics. Oh, that's what you meant. The old school Bics. Yes. The old school ones. These are fucking trash. I don't know. Sometimes things don't hit me right away. Patriot Beast says men are programmed that no matter what, when asked if we're okay, we reply with, I'm fine. Good. I'm grateful for that programming. It's been 4 months. I get that she'll never stop mourning him, but how long is she supposed to publicly do it? 40 days and 40 nights, according to her Jewish religion. She's gonna mourn as long as it keeps making her money, friends. That's what's gonna happen. She's so ridiculous of a human being. And I was like one of the first people to say it. And oh my God, that video went viral. It was the first video I had to go viral because I was critical of her. And everyone lost their minds on me. We have to fix the resolution of this camera because it's like so pixelated. I am so bloated. I had rice, beans, sauerkraut. I'm not sauerkraut. Rice, beans, and sour cream and pico, and I am so gassy and my stomach hurts. I keep trying to cover it up, but I am so bloated. Oh my God. You know. Well, Mike, you can thank production for that. Production likes to give you guys variety. He said they love how you switch the cameras. It's the details. It's all in the details, folks. You know. But spirituality. It's not for everyone.
Stop trying to save people. You see, not everyone is meant to wake up, and that's perfectly all right. In fact, they are playing a vital role in the grand unfolding of things. You see, you cannot save someone who does not wish to be saved. No matter how much you push, pull, or guide, their awakening must come from within.
Yeah, this is something I experienced in the cult, like leaving the cult. You know, when you realize that you grow up and your whole family's in a cult, you try to wake them up, get them out. And there's one thing I've learned is that God does that. God does the calling, and God makes their minds and hearts open at the right time for them. And everyone has their higher power, and their higher power's got their back, just like mine has my higher power has my back. And the more you try to like force someone to wake up, the harder the cognitive dissonance like kicks in, and the deeper they dig their heels into their belief system. So it's really something that only your behavior, your example, your example is what speaks for your awakening, and God does the rest.
It's their journey, not yours. Those who remain asleep aren't wrong. They are simply demonstrating through their choices what life is like when you don't awaken to the truth of your own being. And so, when we try to save them, we are not only disrespecting their journey, but we are also failing to realize something deeply important. Awakening is not something you can do for another. It is an individual experience. Just as the Buddha could only point to the moon, not make someone see it. Now, this doesn't mean you abandon them, but you must understand that your role is not to save them. Your role is to live by example.
Yeah, see? Yeah,
when you become the embodiment of peace, love, and awakening, you radiate a light that others may be drawn to when the time is right for them. Stop trying to...
It's a good timely reminder for all of us because, yes, thank you, Texas. Thank you. I've got a couple videos. You know, when you guys send me videos, I do look at them. And if it catches me in the first, 10 seconds, I forward it to production and then I close it so I can watch the rest organically with you guys. But yes, Mayhem, I'm glad you're loving the content. And thank you, Texas, for sending that video. Red MAGA Gang, what's up, gang gang? Oh boy, my tummy. No bueno. These bangs are so annoying. They always get in my eyes. Okay. So, one thing that we don't have much on here, it's a new one that's coming up. It's about addiction. So many of y'all know that I'm in recovery, not for alcohol, not for drugs, but, hold on one second. Let me take this medicine. We're supposed to be anonymous, but, whatever. So, I'm in Al-Anon because I have alcoholics in my family and I was raised by alcoholics and PTSD, cult trauma. So one of the things Mike said, wow, you look amazing. Love your hair and your eyes. Okay. Yes, sir. So I'm kind of glad we have a video about addiction coming up. It is, when you're raised when addiction runs in your family. So I have the gene too. And I would have process addictions, and other addictions as a result of like my trauma. And, I went through a 2-year battle with alcohol after my son died. Because I was trying not to be awake. I was trying to die, really. So there's that. But my heart, I didn't realize that because of the addiction gene in my family and so many people in my family having the addiction issues, almost every single person I've ever been with has dealt with addiction. I didn't realize I had a pattern of choosing partners that were addicts, but it was because that's what I was familiar with. And that's, when you're, unfortunately, sometimes we choose what's familiar, even if it's negative, because it's what's familiar. You know what I mean? So that's what I was doing. And it caused so many deep issues in my relationships and, you know, even me and my husband now, when our beginning of our, relationship, we had a lot of trouble because of, alcohol use. But, I was still at that time, like very heavily grieving my son and just different things like that. And, it just makes you look back at like all the different conversations that went sideways when you weren't drunk, but you had been drinking, and you were like, at this point you're like a functioning alcoholic because you drink so much, but like you don't think at times the alcohol is affecting your memory or your perceptions, but it does. So, I got over that on my own. I just decided, my oldest daughter came to me one day and like shook me and was like, "Mom, I don't want you to turn gray like Julian." That's my son's name. He's right behind me, right here. And I was like, okay, I'm quitting this. I'm not drinking anymore. Cause I really wasn't drinking to like be partying and drunk. I was just trying to be asleep. That was a short 2-year period in my life. I've never really had an issue. Sometimes I'll drink wine every now and then, but it's getting less and less the older I get. It just doesn't, the older I get, like I value being sharp. And sometimes, sometimes I do want wine just because I do like the taste of wine. And congratulations, Mayor. Very good for you. And thank you, Mayhem. I appreciate it. So yeah, let's get into this video. The most misunderstood thing about addiction.
You think the most misunderstood thing is about addiction after going through recovery and now, not dealing with that anymore?
As an addict or an alcoholic, you don't have a problem with drugs or alcohol. You have a problem with your mind. And your solution to your mind is drugs and alcohol. Drugs and alcohol were actually my solution for a long period of time. As an alcoholic,
I would like when I was younger, I'd roll on the weekends and go to the club and all that stuff. But I realized really quickly into my 20s, I like having my wits about me. Now, I do microdose mushrooms sometimes, and that's for spiritual reasons. So some of you, but not all of you know, I have a psychology degree in general psychology, but in my last 2 years, I did research in forensic psychology. I also have special interests in psychology and dark psychology, high control groups, cults, trauma, and addiction. And because I'm also a adult survivor of childhood sexual abuse. So these are where my niches go in psychology. So I will say that 100%, he is 100% right. Anybody who's an addict or is using for one reason or another is trying to, is so desperate for a moment of happiness. They're trying to heal a deeper issue. They have feelings of trauma because of something that's happened in their life or sustained trauma like family issues while growing up. And what they're doing is, especially for people who've had sustained stressful periods for long periods of times for years, they will use drugs because they just don't know how to be happy because their brain formed during traumatic events. So it helps them find the dopamine release they're looking for. Training the brain using nootropics is a really wonderful thing that I've done that's helped me with, creating new neural pathways. I also have some TBIs. So, it's basically, I've realized in my journey that pharma and chemicals that are man-made is like the enemy of trauma. And it will, if you have trauma, you are highly likely to become an addict. So let's continue with the video.
Like an addict, I can't handle life on life's terms without some substance to put me in a sedated state. When you remove drugs and alcohol from an addict, they are in a worse state than with the drugs and alcohol. Even when the drugs
and alcohol lower your flight, or freeze response. So when you grow up in trauma, your brain forms with that part overgrown, like if you were to work out one arm, but not the other, that arm would be huge and the other arm would be little. So you'd be off balance. So that part of the brain is an overworked muscle off balance. And so it's like an alarm bell that is going off continuously or at the same times every day due to muscle memory. So the drugs interrupt that cycle. So you have to teach yourself to think differently. That's what therapy is for. Therapy is not like go sit on a couch, vent. It doesn't feel like talking to a friend. Real therapy is uncomfortable. It is not fun. It's grueling. You'll hate every appointment because what the therapist is doing is teaching you how to think differently, problem solve differently, think in proportion to reality, and challenge yourself. So it feels like a lot of betrayal of your natural self. You feel like you're turning on yourself. You feel like you're betraying yourself because you're like, oh my God, if I acknowledge that I've been thinking out of proportion with this belief system I have, then I have to admit that, I've been duped. I was wrong. Whatever. So it does feel like a gigantic, like the ground is going to give out from underneath you if you submit to this. But when it comes to healing, the key to healing is surrender. Surrender is the hardest thing to do for anybody that's dealing with trauma and addiction because they likely grew up in a chaotic household. So surrender is something that is incredibly hard for an addict to do or anyone with trauma, but it is literally the thing that Jesus teaches as well. Surrender and understanding that your higher power has got your motherfucking back. Like sometimes the pain is the thing that makes you stronger. And you won't die. And it's just like having someone to be there to tell you, like, you can get through this pain. This needs to hurt. Don't get over it too quickly. Let this hurt because through the pain, you will grow strength and you will be a warrior. And it's just somebody that can help you get through that and keep things in proportion for you.
And alcohol stop working, which eventually they always do, you're in a position now where you're raw. You feel your emotions. You don't know how to process them. You don't know how to handle them. You're an asshole to other people. You live in a way that's just destructive. I bounced in and out of AA for many years with this destructive behavior, but it wasn't until I surrendered.
Ryan, it is incredibly easy to get the help. And if you're interested in the help, please DM me and I will make sure you get that help.
Completely and said, yes, I'm going to do the 12 steps, that I realized this thing. The program of Alcoholics Anonymous has nothing to do with the removal of drugs and alcohol. That's the prerequisite. Hey, I'm going to stop drinking. But the work begins when you enter the rooms and you start doing work with a sponsor one-on-one. And that work is entirely looking at your ego, at your character defects, at your inadequacies, at what makes you tick, at why you use drugs and alcohol.
It's why I said it's uncomfortable. And your sponsor is not, you have to pick your sponsor. Your sponsor is not going to come to you. Humility is a big part in recovery. So your sponsor is not going to say, hey, I'd like to sponsor you. You need to feel out who you vibe with at those meetings. Oh my gosh, everything's backwards in this camera. At those meetings, and they will be there for you.
And when you can start to understand these things, then you have to make some really difficult, hard changes in your life.
What do you think?
And here's another hard reality is that how do I want to say this? Well, let's just look at it like this way. Whether you're atheist, agnostic, Christian, Muslim, Hindu, Jewish, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be the 12-step program. You know, if you're not like a religious, like if you're not spiritual and you don't believe in God, like it doesn't have to be a religious program. But I will tell you this, recovery only works if you understand spirituality. And if you don't believe in God, you don't have to change your entire concept to be a spiritual person. You can be spiritual without believing in God, actually. It requires tapping into your instincts. It requires understanding that the same reason why you desire to be a good person, even though you don't believe in God, is the spirituality in itself. Spirituality is not a belief system in a religious construct. It's a belief system in the fact that there is something more powerful than just you to get through this. Your higher power could be a rock. It could be a rocking chair. It could be, you know, your banana tree outside on your front porch that you like to talk to. Whatever your higher power is, whatever makes you feel connected to the human experience is the only way to recover from addiction, is realizing that there's a spiritual undercurrent in everything. And that spiritual undercurrent teaches you that you have to realize that there are things you just cannot control and you will never be able to control. And your higher power gives you the wisdom to discern the difference between something you can control and something you can't control. And that higher power, for people who are atheists, that's called your instincts. And it's really learning how to tap back into that. And then eventually, by the end, there's other programs that are not 12-step programs, but they're all spiritual because that's the only way it works. Backwater says, I was drinking for 3 years straight right after my dad died, and it hurt. Starting from morning till whenever I passed out and tried to take my life in cold turkey, and prayers helped. Yes. Backwater, I think that's why we vibe so much, is like we have such a common experience, like a shared experience with life. And Mike says your inner self. Yes. So for the atheist, like your inner self, your inner child, like the original you, the you before everything went bad. That's what recovery helps you get back to, sobriety and really being able to know what you feel like free of substance, and to have that feeling of peace, even in just moments, even if it's just one moment in a day, you're achieving something, that you have peace and serenity, because the goal is serenity. I don't think I'm following the Quiet Part pod. I'm not sure. I thought I was. And I like how they said, I'm good with God. I don't believe in religion though. And that's wonderful. That means you have awakened to the matrix. Religion is part of the matrix. Religion was not designed by God. Jesus never intended for an entire cult to be started in behalf of his name. He directed all worship to the divine, to the Father. He did not like when the apostles fell down at his feet and tried to worship him. He said, hell no, don't you dare. That belongs to God. I am the Son of God, the same as you are the Son of God. So, spirituality is, it's an ascended understanding of life, and it's not religious. Religious is just something you do religiously, repeatedly, without faltering. So your job can be your religion, your hobby can be your religion. Religion, by linguistic definition, is just something you do repeatedly without falter. So ritualistic. Quiet Part said, I don't want to see the inner me. That guy's a real asshole. The inner child is what we're referring to. So the inner you today. So there's the id, the ego, and the superego. So the id is the inner child, your biological predisposition, your genetic personality. The id is the self, how you have become you here in the present day based on the combination, the diathesis of your genetic personality plus the experiences that have shaped and refined your personality. And then the superego is the conscience, the parental voice, the God voice, the higher self. So hope that helps a little bit. Quiet part. Y'all don't make me get emo now. All right. Moving on to TikTok. To trash TikTok now that the juice boxes own it. TikTok is silly town. We all know that. That's what production said. All right, leave Christopher Columbus alone.
I don't really understand why liberals hate Christopher Columbus so much. I mean, he was just an immigrant. He was looking for a better life, guys. Like, they always complain, oh, it used to be just Native Americans before. Yeah, he brought diversity. You think there were white people in North America? No. I mean, liberals today are completely fine with Somalians and other people from third world countries just coming in and living here and bringing diversity. So I don't understand why they're not okay with Christopher Columbus. And they're always advocating against kicking illegals out of America. And keep in mind, illegal immigrants have killed people before because there's no background checks on them.
Baby. And they continue to every day. She's adorable. I love her. Who's this? Who is this? Is that her real name? Is that her though? Cause like the cash money. She got cash money.
Not only have illegal immigrants just straight up murdered American citizens, they've also killed them because they can't read English on the road, and they somehow have CDLs. So what was the problem with Columbus killing people? Actually, he didn't kill them, by the way. It was sickness that did. I mean, if we're going by liberal logic, Christopher Columbus should be the poster child of DEI, diversity, and inclusion. Shouldn't he? I mean, if it weren't for Christopher Columbus, we wouldn't have all this diversity today. So,
I love her.
Someone just explain that to me.
Because
by your logic, nobody is illegal on stolen land. And the Native Americans didn't own that land. They always stole it from each other. So the land was already stolen. Christopher Columbus should be allowed to be there. Correct? I don't really understand why liberals...
I love her. I want her on my show. I hope. Okay, cool. Production's going to reach out to her. I love her. I need to find all the strong women and make a little army of pissed off women. You want shit to start moving? You want shit to start shaking and baking, baby? Get a bunch of pissed off women. Get some the species that was smart enough to evolve with their gonads on the inside. Get them pissed off. Get them motherfucking pissed off. And we are tired of the fact that we don't have a massive selection. Not that it matters for me anymore. I can't imagine what it's like to date right now. But I vicariously understand what's up with all these young women is there's no fucking real men around. So, ladies, if you want a good fight, join me. Join me. Quiet pod. Stop. Be nice. Those silly natives were killing each other just fine before Columbus got here. Hilarious. Quiet part pod. Don't be mean to yourself. I tend to have an affinity for assholes, apparently, and then kick myself in the ass for it later. But I just collect assholes in my life. You know, all the black sheep. We just, right here. Come on. All the black sheep. I got them all up under my armpits. Ugh. Yeah, if I ever am ever widowed or anything, I will stay widowed because I will not even fucking attempt this dating scene. Ew. No. I need too much. I'm too high maintenance anyway, and these bitches couldn't handle me. Too many bitches. All right. Love her. I want her on my show. Okay. Anthony. Ew. A car crash video? Oh, the boxer that beat the shit out of what's his face? What's his name? Jake Paul. Anthony Joshua's car crash. Jake Paul is such a lame-o. I never remember his name. He's such a fucking ew.
Okay, we have just got the first videos from Anthony Joshua's car crash, and honestly...
First of all, I gotta say, for my Nigerian brethren, I just gotta say, Nigerian folks, we some warriors, just saying. We are some warriors. And he cute, too. He cute. I'm glad he survived. Thank God. We don't need another handsome Nigerian badass. Look. You want to know why they tried to suppress blacks? Because we're motherfucking badasses in every way.
It doesn't look great. He is seen getting pulled out of the back of this car while very visibly in pain by a guy in a suit who is presumably his security, but also just by members of the public, bystanders. And like, you're told...
You know why he survived? Because he knows what it's like to take... He knows how to take hits. He knows how to take falls. He knows his body knows how to react to physical trauma.
Pull someone out of the wreckage of a car crash unless you absolutely have to, like if it's on fire or something, because you know, car crash victims, they often suffer neck injuries, spinal injuries, so moving them can turn a survivable or minor injury into something like paralysis or death or something way worse. And so, you know, two people died in this crash, so it was very serious. So the protocol is always to call emergency services and let professionals do the moving and taking them to hospital. But he is
his name is Anthony
in the front seat, upright in a police car, all while there is absolute chaos outside. We don't know if the police car was the one that took him to hospital, but there were also no visuals of any ambulance or paramedic.
So he was taking his money to his family in his country.
Now we don't know the details of AJ's injuries yet. We do know that they are minor, but looking at the state of the car, he is lucky to be alive. Okay, we have just got the first video.
Wow. My goodness. That is like fate right there that you survived that. Shush. Well, hey, Badger. Welcome, my dear. Good to see you, baby. We are almost to the end of the show. Let me take a stroll through the chat. Because y'all been talking. And lately it's been getting hard for me to... look at this fucking crazy hair I have right here. It's been... I've been looking at it all night. It's like one curl that is like not curled like the rest of my hair. And it looks like a tail. Can you... Oh, never mind. Okay. So, let me look at the chat. I gotta do some homework real quick. Gotta see who's gonna be my fan of the show. Badger. Okay, so Badger says Joshua didn't comply and take that dive like everyone else. He is in the crosshairs right now. What?
The accusation is that Jake Paul pays his opponents to lose fights.
Oh, so you think maybe there's a conspiracy because he didn't want to take the deal and he kicked Jake Paul's ass? Good. Jake Paul's a fucking loser. I cannot stand Jake Paul. He's a loser, and I think he's a pedo. He gives me pedo vibes, and I would know because childhood sexual assault survivor right here. I can smell them a mile away. I know when they're coming. All right, so let's see. Let's look through this chat. Texas, haven't you won before? Pretty sure you've won. Yeah. 222. Oh, Timeless Classics. Are you still in the chat? What a cool name. Are you a car guy? Anthony Oluwaf. Hey, I can't say all that. Oluwafemi Olaseni Joshua. Look, both my grandparents have Nigerian. Their grandparents are from their grandparents are from Nigeria, and we didn't have. They had Catholic names. Well, Kenneth isn't really a Catholic name, and neither is Rita, but they were Catholic. You said he talks shit about the US a lot. Oh. Well, fuck that guy. But he's hot though. At least he's hot. You know, at least he's pretty on the eye, easy on the eyes. This meme right here says they found the driver, and it shows Jake Paul in a freaking Lamborghini. Okay. Next video. Let's see. Since you had a hard time with my last name, just call me Eska Hell No. Eska Hell No. Is it S? How do you say your last name? S. No, type it phonetically. What? Escuerdo? I don't know. I don't speak Spanish much. I mean, I say I don't, but my husband says that I do, but I don't believe him. I mean, I guess so. Like when my husband talks to me, somehow I know what he's saying. When I read Spanish, usually I know exactly what's going on. Names are hard sometimes. My husband says I speak Spanish or I understand Spanish. I know I understand Spanish. Oh, escudero, right? Duh, because escudero. See, it's like always like duh. Like once you say it, I'm like, how did I fucking forget? So I've been learning German though all year, and a lot of my Spanish is like gone because of that. And me and my daughter speak German a lot with each other. We haven't lately. We need to get back in it. But, you know. I also need to quit vaping. Y'all know I've been trying to, and I've down to my last 2 vapes. I cannot believe how long I've had this. My vapes would only last me like a week and a half. How long have I been nursing this one? Whoops. How long have I been nursing this one? Like a month? Yeah, I've been nursing on this one a month. But I need to because it's making my mucus like very thick, which is like a cystic fibrosis symptom, and vaping can cause cystic fibrosis. So I really need to like chill the fuck out. Anyway, I need to take antihistamines. Let's talk a little spiritual stuff. You want to get the next video ready? Okay. Was Judas a hero? The hero, sorry.
There is an incredibly controversial lost gospel that was buried in the Egyptian desert for 1700 years. And when scholars finally translated it in 2006, it completely inverted everything that Christianity teaches about betrayal. Because according to the Gospel of Judas, Judas wasn't the villain who condemned Jesus. He was the only disciple who acted.
Now remember, the Vatican kept the Gospel of Judas. They didn't want it put out, and they kept Judas was his brother, Jesus' brother, one of his brothers. And they also didn't want Mary, his wife's book, getting out. Mary Magdalene wrote a book as well. A book, what? Her diaries, right? Her diaries. They didn't want those included in the Bible, so they have her diaries buried under there. So let's see what they have to say about this. Is he a heretic or a hero?
Actually understood what Jesus wanted, and the betrayal was an act of love that freed Christ from his physical prison. This is the Gospel of Judas. Hands down one of the most controversial texts ever discovered, and it presents a radically different Jesus who laughs at the other disciples for worshiping the wrong God. He tells Judas secret knowledge that he can't share with anyone else, and who specifically asked Judas to betray him because that's the only way to complete his mission. The text was lost for almost 2 millennia. Early church fathers like
this. I don't know how or remember why I had come to this conclusion at one point that I thought it was part of the plan. Did I not say this to you, Ryan? I had said this at some point, that I thought that Judas betraying Jesus was part of like the internal plan. And I think I had probably gotten done with the meditation or had like some spiritual download. I'm a spirit medium. I don't offer services to anyone. It's something that happens organically and naturally, and I pick and choose who I interact with. And this was one of the things that I had a knowing over. So I'm surprised to see a video about it.
He has condemned it as heresy in the 2nd century, but the actual gospel disappeared. Then in the 1970s...
Well, technically, the Quiet Part Pod, Jesus is the first anti-Semite.
Egyptian farmers found a limestone cave near Elminia containing a codex written in Coptic. It changed hands through black market dealers and got stored in a safety deposit box in Long Island for 16 years. And finally, it was
Yeah, but Texas, I mean, much more deeper than that. Not that he was chosen to betray him, that him and Jesus literally devised a plan.
Translated in 2006. And let me tell you, when this translation came out, it shook biblical scholarship. This one isn't just a different perspective, it's an entirely different cosmology where the God of the Old Testament is a false deity, and where Jesus came to reveal secret knowledge rather than die for sins, and also where Judas is the hero of the story. So here's what happens. Jesus is teaching the disciples, and they start discussing a vision that they had of priests making sacrifices in a temple. They think that this is holy, righteous worship, but Jesus laughs at them. He says, "It is not the God of truth you serve, but your own God," meaning they're worshiping the demiurge, also known as the false creator god. The priests in their vision represent the Christian clergy who will come after Jesus, still trapped in worshiping the wrong deity. As you might assume, the disciples get angry. But Judas? Well, Judas sees something the others can't. He approaches Jesus privately and says, "I know who you are and where you have come from. You are from the immortal realm of Barbello." Yes, Barbello. The mother, father, God, the first emanation of the true...
I actually believe this. Not a lot of people. So if you understand the Hermetic code, Hermes and the Gnostics, Hermes' relationship with the Gnostics, this makes a lot of fucking sense. I challenge you to go down a rabbit hole about what the Gnostics believed. Gnostics, the Gnostics. The Matrix, the movie The Matrix will come to mind when you study them. They were the earliest form of Christianity, and they were exterminated. Because if they existed, the Catholic Church couldn't assassinate Jesus' brothers and best friends and then call them saints and create special things for them. So I highly encourage you to research the Gnostics. They have the most accurate explanation of what Jesus was saying, what he was talking about, who he is, what the angels are, what God is, how everything's constructed, and the Hermetic code. So that's just a little tidbit for you guys.
An unknowable God. Judas is the only one who recognizes that Jesus isn't the son of the creator God Yahweh. He's an emissary from the realm of true divinity that lives beyond this false creation. Jesus actually takes Judas aside and tells him, "Step away from the others and I shall tell you the mysteries of the kingdom. It is possible for you to reach it, but you will grieve a great deal." Now, there's an interesting counterpoint here. In John 18:20, Jesus says, "I have spoken openly to the world. I always taught in synagogues and at the temple. I said nothing in secret." Now, the canonical Gospels emphasize Jesus teaching publicly with no hidden knowledge, but the Gospel of Judas shows Jesus doing exactly what John 18:20 says he didn't do, pulling one disciple aside to reveal mysteries the others can't handle. In this Gospel, Jesus reveals the entire Gnostic cosmology. He reveals how the true God exists beyond all creation, how the material world was made by ignorant archons, how human souls can...
This is my utter frustration with Christianity. Jesus, I know you guys are going to freak out when I say this, but Jesus said it himself many, 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 many times because they were not understanding when he was saying, "I'm about us being created in the image of God, and we are the children of God, and you are part of God." The divine God. Jesus is not the divine, the all, the everything, the intelligence woven into every molecule that exists on the third dimensional plane. The divine spark, the divine intelligence, the divine code, the zeros and ones. Jesus was something different than that, an ascended master
contain divine sparks trapped in flesh, and critically, how Jesus himself is trapped in a body and needs to escape it. This is the key.
Please, 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 if you want to further your freedom, research the Gnostics and what they believe. I'm telling you, everything will make so much sense when you compare it against modern Christianity, because modern Christianity was developed by Freemasons.
Traditional Christianity, Jesus' death is a sacrifice for sin. The crucifixion redeems humanity. But in the Gospel of Judas, Jesus' body is a prison. He's a divine being of light who descended into matter and got stuck in flesh. The crucifixion isn't a sacrifice, it's an escape route. Jesus wants to be killed because that's how his spirit can return to the pleroma. And as you might imagine, the other disciples really don't understand this. They still think that Jesus is the Messiah who will establish God's kingdom on earth. They're still operating in the framework where this world matters and where this body matters and where the creator God is legitimate. And only Judas understands. Jesus tells him explicitly, you will...
That sounds Polish/Russian, probably more on the Polish side. He's probably ethnically more Polish, but that sounds definitely Cyrillic, at least. Cutic. So this is blatant Cutic.
Exceed all of them, for you will sacrifice the man that clothes me. The man that clothes me? You mean the body is just a garment? Well, Judas isn't betraying Jesus, he's helping Jesus shed his body. It's the ultimate act of understanding and compassion. Everybody else wants to keep Jesus alive in flesh because they don't realize that flesh is the problem. But Jesus tells Judas, you will be cursed by the other generations. He knows what's coming. Judas will be remembered as the ultimate traitor for 2,000 years.
But you're gonna have a big
Judas does it anyway
reward
because he loves Jesus enough to help him escape, even though it means eternal condemnation.
Everything, dude, when you are born into a Christian evangelical doomsday cult, your whole relationship with Christian religion is so different than the average Christian. You have to examine everything about everything. And the things that I have learned, I will never take back being born into that cult. Because if I hadn't been born into that cult, I would never have gained my freedom from the Matrix in general, from the entire system of this world. I wouldn't have gained my freedom from the God of this system, which is so much bigger than religion.
The gospel shows Judas in agony over this. He has a vision of the disciples stoning him. He knows what accepting this role will cost him, but he does it because he's the only one with the gnosis to understand. Jesus says, already your horn has been raised, your wrath has been kindled, your star has shone brightly, and your heart has prevailed. Judas is ascending. His willingness to be misunderstood forever, to commit the act everyone will call evil, is actually the highest form of love. And here's where it gets even more radical. The gospel implies the entire Christian church is built on a misunderstanding. All of the disciples except Judas founded Christianity, established churches, worshiped the creator God, and treated Jesus' death as sacrifice rather than liberation. They created a religion that Jesus himself laughed at. Now, the priests making sacrifices that the disciples saw in their vision, well, Jesus says they're the ones who will lead the multitudes astray, meaning Christian clergy for 2,000 years, all worshiping the wrong God and all missing the point according to the Gnostic Jesus. The billions of Christians who came after, venerating the cross, celebrating the crucifixion and sacrifice, and condemning Judas, they're all operating in the paradigm that Jesus came to shatter. The only person who got it was the one everybody hates. Now, the Gospel of Judas presents Christianity where the goal isn't salvation through Christ.
Now, there's a common theme. The one they call the devil, the one they call Satan. There's a whole story behind that too. And I'll leave you with this Easter egg. The victor rewrites the story. Go back to subscribe to my channel on Instagram so you can see, or Facebook, Thirst Trap News is the Facebook page. So you can see our journey every Sunday on ancient human history. And we discuss the Anunnaki, we discuss Sumeria, and we just discussed Babylon. It's really incredibly important for you to know human history before the Bible was written to understand exactly what the Bible is actually saying. Because if you only look at the Bible, that is a vacuum that is being created. That is what cults do, is they only look at the approved material. The Bible is not the earliest human record of history.
Blood, but liberation through secret knowledge.
Right. It's like only watching CNN or only watching Fox.
Where the creator God is an ignorant archon, where the body is a trap, and where gnosis frees you, not sacrifice.
Gnosis. There, now you know why the Gnostics have their name. So understand, look up what gnosis is, and then therefore Gnostic. Okay? So look that up.
Now, some scholars are pretty sure that this was actually written by Canaanite Gnostics, a group that venerated all the villains of the Old Testament because they saw them as rebels against the false creator God. Cain was a hero for rejecting the demiurge's sacrificial system. The serpent in Eden brought knowledge, and Judas was the greatest hero for understanding what Jesus actually needed. Whether you think this gospel is legitimate revelation or heretical fan fiction, it raises an uncomfortable question. What if the greatest act of love in human history has been called the greatest betrayal for over 2,000 years? And what if the only person who truly understood Jesus has been condemned by everyone who claims to follow him? The gospel of Jesus suggests that Christianity as we know it is built on fundamental misunderstanding.
Yes,
and the
it
person
is.
who had it right.
And if you watch if any of my subscribers are on the show right now that were on last night, we discussed, what did he just say?
Has been called the greatest betrayal for over 2,000 years. And what if the only person who truly understood Jesus has been condemned by everyone who claims to follow him? The gospel of Jesus suggests that Christianity as we know it is built on fundamental misunderstanding, and the person who had it right was erased from history as the ultimate villain. Betrayal becomes compassion. The hero becomes the villain.
So we talked about who Yahweh, what his name was known as before the Jewish Abrahamic Mosaic law took effect during the Sumerian and Babylonian times. There's a lot of information that the church does not want you to know, because then you will figure out that they have created your natural behaviors to be sinful to guarantee penance is paid to the church, meaning money. So it's really important, like human history, ancient civilizations and the way they worked and their theology, their mythology, their economies, everything really are still in play today. And they're still being used by the New World Order to keep you in a slavery state.
And the entire religion is exposed as worship of the wrong God by people who never understood what Jesus was actually saying.
That's what I was going to say.
So if you want more suppressed gospels, like the video.
The average person is worshiping the wrong God because the Catholic Church intentionally confused you. We are unintentionally, as whether you're evangelical or Christian, you're unintentionally in both demographics being directed towards the wrong God. Jesus said so many times in the Bible, I am not God. But then you see contradictions in the Bible where it says he is God. Both cannot be true. Both cannot be true. So you really have to start understanding crusading history, political history, to understand why religion was invented, and it is to weaponize your soul. Because that's the only way to gain slavery, is willful slavery, is to hold their whole soul hostage. All right. Top 3 worst singers. Let's have some fun. Okay.
These are the top 3 worst singers of all time.
Are we going to get a copyright strike?
Honorable mention is Frankie Shitballs Jonas. He's the one that's got the shitty balls.
Frankie Jonas isn't even in the band.
We have Kevin Blowjob Jonas.
No.
And that's really what he is. He's a blowjob. No. Coming in at number 2 is Nick Jonas, the Nick prick. He's the biggest prick of them all.
He actually is not a good singer.
His head looks like a dick, but that's why they call him Dick Prick. Coming in at number 1, the fuck-ass slut, Joe Jonas. That's who's the fuck-ass. Joe Jonas is a fucking prick-ass. They banned me from their fucking concert. They got...
Why does the hot one always get labeled the slut? I got labeled a slut when I ran for Congress. First of all, who the fuck is Frankie Jonas? The other brother. No one knows who that is. And Kevin, by the way, has finally come out with his first single called, what's it called? Changing. And I was like, why have you been sleeping on us for 20 years? You've been the one with the voice the whole time. Kevin Blowjob Jonas is the best singer of all the Jonas Brothers. I love the Jonas Brothers. Be nice.
Shit in their ass. They'll get to the fuck ass. Joe Jonas is a fucking prick ass. They banned me from their fucking concert. They got shit in their ass. They'll get shit on your dick and shit in your nose. Fucking Jonas Brothers. I hate them fucking bastards.
What
These are the top 3 worst singers of all time.
So I can't sing right now. Y'all, I'm a singer. I'm in a band. I can't sing right now because of doing this damn fucking show. I tried singing yesterday. My voice is fucking tired, so your girl's going to have to go on 3 days off to give my voice a break, or maybe 2 days off and then 1 in the middle of the week. Something, but maybe 3 days off is going to be better. But he has this new song called Changing that you guys should listen to. It's they're in their mature stage. I didn't listen to them when they were young. I've only just now gotten into them, to be honest. I don't appreciate this video. All right, next video. I keep changing. I gotta think how this song goes. It goes, this coffee's cold and the same old conversation, so I keep on changing. No, I keep on changing. Da-na-da-na-na-da. Oh, fuck. I gotta sing it for you guys. I'm gonna do it one day. I'll sing you guys a song one day. What? I cannot believe I can't remember the lyrics. This is why when I do when the band plays, I cannot get through any show without lyrics. Oh, God, that song makes me cry every time. All right. Anyway, next video. Trump is such a Jew. Oh, no, don't fall asleep.
These are the top.
Don't fall asleep if you don't want to deal with Freddy Juger.
I know this is your dream, but it was promised to me 3,000 years ago.
Freddy Juger.
Shit, I just fucking almost deep-throated the mic. Sorry, folks.
Excuse me, can you please stop snoring?
Freddy Juger.
They do complain about everything.
Don't fall asleep if you don't want to deal.
They just gotta watch the first one.
Juger.
I know this is your dream, but it was promised to me 3,000 years ago.
Freddy Juger.
Excuse me, can you please stop snoring?
Freddy Juger.
Ben Shapiro asks, that's how
Don't
Ben Shapiro
fall
talks.
asleep.
You know who also is part Jew and won't say it? Nick Fuentes. His mother is Italian and Jewish, and he will not admit to his Jewishness. Also, he's an FBI op because he says he totally believes everything the FBI says about Charlie Kirk's death. Really? You, Nick Fuentes, you fucking criticize everything and you don't believe anything and you fucking hate all of it. Now you just believe them? Whatever. Fuentes, you FBI op. Okay. On the Jew topic, I don't have a problem with Jews. My husband is part Jew, ethnically. If he was religiously, we wouldn't be together. Because, he would consider me a beast. and unable to procreate with me. I don't like the Jewish doctrine, and I don't like the Zionists, and I don't like the Talmud. Can I make it obvious for all you fucktards out there who are going to go complain about Luna Lopez is a Jew hater? I like America. America first, America fucking only. Israel needs to get the fuck out of our shit. Bye. Bye. All right. Nick also blew Destiny. Destiny what? I don't know what you're talking about. Is it a dude? Oh, I don't think that's true. I don't know if it's true, but it's fun to muse about. Okay. Trump is such a Jew. My
so we
husband's a
decided to
Jubin,
break
by the
a
way.
convention to, or create a new one, and that is to award the Israel Prize, which in almost our 80 years, we've never awarded it to a non-Israeli. And we're going to award it this year to President Trump. This was announced formally over lunch. By our Minister of Education, who's responsible for the Israel Prize. It's going to be awarded to President Donald J. Trump for his tremendous contributions to Israel and the Jewish people. So we decided to break a convention to, or
That better be. Oh, man. This is like touching a nerve, man. Because Trump kissed asses to the Jews, man. You know, it's like all the other stuff he's doing is great. But you'll realize that this fight with like sending our money everywhere and so much of it to Israel. Actually, I think the bulk of our money goes to Israel. You do realize that this fight against that is going to exist past Trump. Like, this is not going to be solved in this term because Trump is like not awake yet in terms of Israel, especially now that Jared Kushner, whatever the fuck his name is in his family. Yeah. Oh my gosh, there's so much comments happening and that it was not showing me. Oh man. Okay, so Badger says, well, the most compelling argument to the existence of Jesus Christ is how all of his followers and apostles were tortured, crucified, imprisoned, and killed, and not one renounced him. Not one. Exactly. Let me light one up real quick because I need to get my mind ready for this rabbit hole. Holy shit. Sorry, Backwater. You know you can always rely on Luna for a good rabbit hole. The Geneva Bible. I wouldn't say Jesus committed suicide other more so than the fact that he just complied and allowed the betrayal of him to happen instead of fighting it because he knew this was part of his destiny. So I would say that. Backwater says, worst singer is my wife when she's in the shower. Religion is man-made, but God's word, Optimus, Dad. Welcome. Hey, Optimus. But Dad's word is true. God's word is true and real. They are not the same. Yes, religion are ideologies of man. I love how awake everyone is. I love this. Pencil Dick Fuentes. I can't fucking stand him either. I hate Nick Fuentes. I can't fucking stand him. Y'all, we have a serious motherfucking problem on our hands. Like, I did not think Trump was ever going to wake up to the Israel thing. And it's like funny watching everyone be frustrated about that. But like, I ran for Congress. So I kind of knew the writing on the wall when it came to Israel. But in terms of everything else that he's doing, I support. I really am irritated over the Epstein thing. In one way, but in another way, I'm not surprised. But the point is like, why the fuck are we giving Israel our money? All they've ever shown to do is to meddle in our entertainment, our education, our medical, and our politics. And they believe they're the chosen people. And according to the Talmud, the rest of us must be eradicated. So it completely makes sense why everything is happening, why human trafficking is happening, why pedophilia is rampant, why transgenderism is a problem. They are literally are responsible for so many of the issues that we have in the West, and we keep fucking giving them our money and electing people who are not awake when it comes to the Israel agenda. So voters, do your jobs, start getting involved in the local election and let it trickle its way up. Go vote in the local elections so it can trickle its way up, because Israel is destroying America by being a siphoning vampire leech. Stop giving them your money. They are corrupting our children, killing our children. They are corrupting our religious climate, our spiritual climate. Everything is about putting them first. And in fact, they say that we're obligated to tithe to them because they're the chosen people. Like, wake the fuck up. Like, every serious issue we have in America is directly tied to a Steen or a Stein or a Berg. Wake up. We need to form our own banking system. That's what I said in my monologue. Local and community banking systems. The federal system is giving our money to foreign interests. Come on, people. Like, where are the nutsacks? Trump's not the only one with a diamond nutsack. You guys have it. Where are our men? Our men need to go to war. We need to protect our homeland and protect our people and ultimately our children. The Quiet Part Pod, you are the chosen people in my eyes. Did we watch that whole video? Last video, best response to being called racist.
If you've ever been called racist, you know it is not a fun time. So these are 5 ways that are going to help you get out of that jam. Coming in at number 5, I dated a black chick. This here is a classic. So if you ever dated or had sex with a black chick, definitely hit him with that immediately. Mention something like she was black too, not art school black. Really helped to prove your case. Coming at number 4, I'm the least racist person in the world. They might honestly just be mistaking you for someone else, so it's good to let them know your reputation speaks for itself. You've actually got mad at other people for them being racist. Coming in at number 3, if you've never had intercourse with a black woman or you don't have any black friends, let them know I support black things. I watch basketball. I'm a huge T-Pain fan. I voted for Obama or Kamala. Maybe you're just a big jerk chicken guy. Anything you've done that's in any way connected to black people, you're going to want to mention it right now. Let them know they must be mistaken. Number 2, you're going to hit them with, I'm also oppressed. Maybe you're a bit Cherokee, part Jewish or gay. You understand the struggle and also inform them that oppressed people need to stick together. And if nothing else works, the number 1 way to react when you're called racist is to out-black them. Say, I know you ain't talking about me. I've been in these streets. I'm like this. You got the wrong one. You better ask about me. Too. Talk to them in a way that lets them know that you're street approved. Even if you're caught saying the N-word, it'll be pretty obvious that one of your homies is signed off on it. So if you're called racist, use any combination of these and you're going to be as good as gold. If you ever been called
February 3rd, he's coming to Jacksonville. All right. This is Ryan Long comedy. I'm not paid for this. Ryan Long. Just happen to think you're pretty funny. Ryan Long. He's going to be in Houston January 15th. He's going to be in Austin, January 16th and 17th. He's going to be in Ottawa, Canada, January 30th. And then he is going to be in Jacksonville, Florida on February 3rd. Woo woo. That would be fun to go see. I really don't care if I get called racist either. I don't really fucking care. I don't fucking care when I get called anything names ever. And it's really bad for promoting yourself on social media because you really have to do good at responding to comments, and especially the haters and the trolls, because they'll just keep responding back to you, which just keeps increasing your views. And so I'm trying to respond to all these fucking trolls and haters because it's fun and funny. It's just, it never fucking bothers me. So I just don't even, I just be not engaged like I should, you know? Anyway, Texas says he's got to bounce. Hope everyone has a safe New Year's. Catch you next time, Luna. Have a great night. You too, Texas. We are also about to get up out of here. So Duval. Yes, he will be up in Duval. The fan of the day. Are you guys ready? Drum roll is going to be the Quiet Part Pod. Thank you for joining. You were super entertaining. Bless your heart. Thanks for hanging with me. It was really fun. Hit up producer Ryan on either Instagram at ryan.lopez86, or you can email us at thirsttrapnews@gmail.com. So thirsttrapnews@gmail. Let me put that in the chat. And then if you could give me a new podcast I can raid, that would be like really cool. Thirst Trap News. You know, I'm gonna have to put spaces because I think they modify. There we go. All right. So on Instagram, oh shit, Mike. Oh my gosh. Mike, that's what I was asking you earlier. I was asking you earlier, Mike, if you had won it. Escudero. Mr. Escudero. I was asking you and you didn't respond, so I made my pick. All right. I am about to raid Stranger Things hates girls. Avatar and Arse. Medea gets sued. I don't know what that is. I am about to raid another show on Rumble. If you want to watch me raid another show on Rumble and try to convince them to let me on their live stream, come over to Rumble and go to Real Luna Lopez on Rumble really fast. And you can come watch me over there. So the Quiet Part Pod does not want to get the autographed show notes, so it's going to go to Mike Cudero. Mike Cudero, it's you, baby. Hold on. It's Mike _Escudero. Escudero. Please message producer Ryan, since that was given up on. All right. I'm about to raid Rumble. Good night, Instagram. See you later. Mike, make sure you message producer Ryan. Love all of you. And here goes my raid. And then see you guys later. Good night. That's fine. Stop the recording. Start a new one if you want.